I've always been an entrepreneur, hustler since a young kid. I'm already selling on different e-commerce platforms. You got to go to college, this and that. You don't like to work with your hands. What are you doing? This is not going to be for you. Every store you walk into, grocery, whatever, they all need refrigeration, right?
Hola, what's up, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to the Reliable HVACR podcast. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, like, comment, all that good stuff. If you guys are listening to this on the audio podcast, wherever you listen to it, please leave a review, get this show out to more people. And if you guys are watching and listening, I truly appreciate it. We would not be here without you. Now, on that point, the first sponsor of the podcast, my favorite CRM, Jobber. Now with Jobber, we can do professional invoicing and quoting, at its base, but it has so many more features. You can schedule, which we use for reoccurring maintenance. So every 6 months, this thing will remind the customer. There's so much more you can do to message customers, set up reminders, set up scheduling. You can do more with checking in and out. You have price lists. You have tons and tons of features. If you guys need help organizing your business and helping it run smoother, it's been night and day for us. We came from paper invoices. I looked at or into other softwares, and there's a lot of complaints on other ones. And one of the big ones is affordability. Now with Jobber, they have really great prices. I promise you, they have something for anybody starting and needs just the basics. And then as you grow, you can get into these much bigger plans, and it grows with your business. So if you guys are interested in looking more professional, being more organized, it helps me get these invoices and billing out much quicker. In turn, we get paid quicker. So if you guys are interested, I can get you a free trial and discount if you go to getjobber.com/reliable HVACR. And another sponsor of the channel now is VETO. VETO Pro Pack, hands down, my favorite tool bags. Now, you guys have seen me rock a whole bunch of VETO bags, and I have nothing but good things to say. If you ever have any issues with them, they do have a 5-year warranty, but the quality is there. You're going to hear me say that a lot about VETO Pro Pack, is the quality, the different kinds of bags, and the thought process that goes into each of these bags. Now that I've seen how they design them and the stuff they're thinking of putting out, all the new stuff that comes out, like they really want to cover every aspect or every need of any technician across many different skill trades. Whether you're a tech that carries a laptop, you need a lot of power tools or a lot of hand tools, like they have a bag for you. Just some of the best bags I've ever had, because I used to rip a lot of the other brands you see at the supply houses or that were there forever. And now VETO Pro Pack, second to none, never had an issue. Go check them out. So on today's episode, we have a very young, fresh HVAC apprentice. He is in trade school, just got in trade school. He's 18 years old. So really cool to get his perspective, but he's very unique. He's had a lot of other endeavors even before the age of 18. So very cool to hear what he has going on, him being an entrepreneur already and then wanting to get into HVAC because he believes it is, the future, a good skilled trade to be in. And he's very pumped to do it, and still in trade school, making the most out of it, getting some work done out there too. Super motivated, really cool kid. This is Ryan. If you guys have seen him blow up on Instagram, he goes by Trades Over College. So he's very adamant that if you don't want to go to college, and we've both have said that it might be for some people, but it might not be for everybody. So if you don't want to go to college, you can pick up a skilled trade like HVAC, have some fun with it, get a good stable job, good stable pay, all that stuff. I like the message that he's sending out. So like I said, he's on Instagram and TikTok, and I'll link everything that he has going on. So now this is Ryan trades over college, and enjoy the show. All right, Ryan, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you? It's a pleasure to be on here today. Thank you for the opportunity. It truly means a lot, man.
Yeah, man, no problem. I saw you over on Instagram. You are kind of like doing well over there. You're getting quite a bit of support, so that's good
Yeah.
to see because I love seeing the next people come in and kind of start posting about the trades, the HVAC stuff, because I feel like I'm getting a little too old for it now. But it's good to see
Nah,
the support you got.
you're just getting started. You're still young, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. So, Ryan, you're 18, right?
Yep. I just turned 18 recently.
Oh man, you just started your career there.
Yep.
Um, so how has you're in trade school right now? So how has that
Yep.
been so far? Like enjoying it? You know, how has it been for you there?
Yeah, for sure, man. It's been a great opportunity to join trade school. I'm 2 months in so far. I truly love it. My teachers are great. Actually, one of my teacher invites me to his side jobs, so I get a lot of extra hand-on opportunities to get to learn more. And I'm actually going to AHR with him, which is really great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
That was going to be one of my questions later down the line because I saw it looked like you were out in the field already.
Yep.
So
So
you're doing a kind of like side work
yeah, with
and
my
going to
teacher.
school.
Yep.
That's cool. Does he take a lot of the kids or like only certain kids?
I'm the chosen one.
Hey man, that's awesome because we had like I went to school too. I went to a college that offered HVAC like as a major, so I got lucky
Yeah.
there. And they offered it to everybody, but what they had was like a what do you call it? Like a little group, school group, whatever you want to call it, like after school activity stuff.
Yeah.
And we would help with some stuff around the school. And one of the things that they had is they would line up weekend work, you know, go fix up a house, help with the construction of a house, stuff like that. And if you were in the
Oh
group,
wow.
you got to volunteer to participate in that. So like they were putting in duct work, changing out systems, you know, all that stuff. So that was a cool thing. I didn't do it all the time, you know, I wasn't in that mindset. So it's good that you're doing that already because I
Yep.
started a little later, you know, really getting into it. So
At least you
yeah,
started, man.
it was a cool experience. Like I always love when schools do hands-on and
Yep.
actually get you to learn this stuff because like you know the books is one thing and then you actually
Yeah.
doing the work is another thing.
So I wanted to get into another reason why I started all of this. So I'm from New York, Staten Island, but here in New York, we really only have one trade school that actually does stuff. I checked it out. I wasn't really feeling the vibe. So that's why I'm going to school in Jersey because they have more schools. So my goal is to open up a school here in New York eventually.
Man, that's awesome. And I've thought about that too, or trying to figure out a way to help people
Yeah.
locally or anything like that. And because somebody had asked me one time because I forgot what kind of video I had done, but they commented like, "So when's the reliable HVAC school opening
Yeah.
up and this and that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, dude. Like, I would love to help more people out around me and stuff. I've had a lot of people that want to come like ride along and stuff, but like I run a business. It's a little bit of a liability, so I'll have to figure out how to do all that kind of stuff later on. But
It's a lot,
yeah,
man.
man, that's really cool. That's a cool dream, a cool goal to have.
Most
Um,
definitely.
and I'm glad that you're in it to help others too.
Yeah. And that was one speaking about liability, that was the biggest problem I had. So before I made the choice to go to trade school, I would reach out to some local companies to see if I could tag along, to see if I actually enjoy it before I start and paying all that
Yeah.
money. And the biggest problem is the liability. So now I'm beyond grateful to have a teacher like I have now who actually takes me on side jobs and he's all for it, man.
And that's the thing. Like a lot of guys, like they want to help, but they're like, you know, like you said,
Yeah.
there's little things here and there. So I mean, good on him to take
Yeah.
you there and get you out there. But um, and that was gonna be like what I was gonna get into is like you're from New York, right?
Yeah. I'm in
How,
Staten Island.
and what's the travel time to your school then?
It's not too bad, 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. So it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Um, and what did you like about that school? Did you go and check it out before you enrolled, or how did that work?
Yeah, most definitely. So basically, I checked out 4 to 5 different schools before I enrolled,
Oh, okay.
and what I would do is I would approach the school. I would say, "Hey, listen, can I sit in one class for the day?" I would see how the teachers roll, how the vibe is. So yeah, I found this one school. I love the vibe. I liked how they did a lot of hands-on work, not too overcrowded. For example, the one biggest school in New York, way too overcrowded, 40 kids per classroom. You come over here, there's only
Damn.
8 to 10 kids per classroom. So that's why I'm really trying to
Yeah.
change the way these schools are, man.
That's crazy. 40. We had like 15 to 20
Yeah,
at most.
yeah, it's
And that was
crazy.
like a good size, and like
I
the
mean
less the better.
I mean, you would expect such a big city to have at least few big schools, not just one school, and it's not even in like Manhattan or something. It's in Long Island City.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's a good point that you bring up, and that's why I asked you like how you went about that, because I've told people like not every school is the same, right? I got lucky with mine.
Yeah,
It was a community college. It was kind of small, and I went there, and like the class size was good, the teachers were good. Half of them owned a business, half of them worked somewhere, doing HVAC still. So they would give us those like work experiences, stories, and stuff like that, and kind of help us learn quicker. And then they had a lot
yeah.
of equipment that we could work on. I mean, I think nowadays I've seen a lot of kids in the trade school, and they have more like
Mm.
awesome stuff, but like we had a good amount,
I
and I
mean,
loved it.
it's great to see there's a lot of big companies that donate equipment, which really
Yeah.
helps out. That's the key, most important. And like you were talking about community colleges, I also went to a couple community colleges around me. One of them didn't even hold in-person classes, which was completely strange. How are you
Oh
supposed to learn
man.
anything like that? And the second one was a little box room smaller than my garage. I was speaking to the rep. They're like, "So yeah, we do it 5 days a week, 8 hours a day." She's like, "You could come in as you please, whenever you please. That's what people do here." They had one piece of equipment. I was like, "Really? So
Damn.
interesting."
Yeah, so like what I was saying is like I've told people that are asking me about school, and I'm like, well, if you want to do it right, you are going to school for like a basics and a basic understanding, getting a little bit hands on, how to hook up your gauges, how to check pressures, how to like do little things and know what everything is right in the system. So
Yeah,
if you're gonna go do that, not every trade school is the same. Like I was saying, like you're gonna have some, and you're giving me perfect examples of like some really crappy ones, and then there's some really good ones, or some that you
yeah,
can see that you're gonna learn something, right? So go, and I've
most
told people,
definitely.
go look at the schools, interview them, right? Like you said, you can maybe sit in a class or get a tour, something like that, because like you're gonna be paying for this, right? You're gonna be paying a good amount. Uh, I mean, it's not gonna be forever, right? I don't know how long is the program that you're in,
It's 1 year, and then I'm gonna go to an apprenticeship.
and that's awesome because like I said, it's not gonna be super expensive because you're only going a year, 2 years.
Yeah,
If you're gonna go to like a good program, right? I don't like those 8 week, 3 month
yeah.
programs. I was like,
You can
what
you
do you
can
learn?
you can do that online if you want.
Yeah, and I was like, no, like a good one, you're gonna get like a year, year and a half, maybe
Yeah,
2. Like I took 2, but it was because I had the basics because it was college, right?
yeah,
So I had to take my English and all that stuff. But you're gonna be paying for this stuff. Like you want to make sure you get the most out of it, right? And like you said, if you're in a little room that they don't care if you come in or not, and all that, like you're not getting your money out of that stuff. Um it's what's a shame is that some people reached out to me about the college that I went to because they're local to me, and during that whole COVID thing, they were doing online, right? Which I understand. But
yeah,
he said like a year or 2 later, they were still trying to push that. And I was like, what are you gonna learn from home,
yeah.
So go check out the schools and make sure you interview them too.
And the key is like all these schools do tours and stuff. When you're on the tour, they just try to sell you. They're just trying
Yeah.
to make it look like, oh, they're the best school out there. You got to really get to interview them, ask questions like I did, sit in the classrooms to actually see how things are run. And if you need to, you could sit in the classroom a few times like I did. I went back to a school twice, 3 times. Really scope it out. Don't settle for the first thing you go to.
Yeah, because like I don't know how it is with yours, but like with mine, I had different teachers for different subjects, right? So then like there's an electrical class, there's a commercial refrigeration class, there's a like a ductwork class, you know. So like you said, if you can go in and sit in a few of them, you'll get a basic understanding of what they're doing, and
Yeah.
you learn more about the school, you know.
We have
Was
3 teachers. We have a basic electric, and then there's 2 other teachers. One that does theory only, and the other one that does everything, all the hands-on work.
Oh, that's cool. I guess that's cool that they separate it like that because ours, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, like for me, I got lucky, but it was they were more of a college schedule. It was like, you know, theory was like 3 days out of the week, and then like I guess lab we would call it is like 2 days out of the week.
Yeah,
So the same teacher would do both, like for every class. But you know, I
yeah,
like that they did that, right? Because it was a mix. You know, one day we learn about it in the book, and the next day we actually do it.
definitely. And I've been
And
seeing a few.
were there
Go
any
ahead.
questions that you had for them when you were like looking into it? Like what was important to you when you were looking for the school that you found?
So, so I would ask, what type of accreditations do the teachers have? Are they certified in what they're teaching at? I would ask them to pull up everything they're certified in online, make sure they're actually certified and know what they're talking about. Second, like I said, the classroom size. I didn't want it to be too big of a class. I like that more one-on-one interaction.
No, it's awesome because I didn't
And
like
also,
I went into it. I went into it with my friend, and my friend dropped out, but whatever. Um, the cool thing, like I said, with mine is like I said, I had like 4 or 5 teachers for the most part, and like there was 2 of them that owned a business, so we got that side of things, right? And they had, you know, good business and stuff. And then the other ones, I think one worked for like the school, or they both worked for the school. Like they would do the industrial stuff, the chillers that control, you know, the air conditioning and
yeah,
all that for the school, and like they really knew their stuff. So like I didn't have to ask, but like once they told me that, I was like, awesome, right? These guys know what they're talking about, and they're gonna.
yeah,
And then there were some old guys. There were some tough old guys too, where they would you know, want us to do it the hard way. I don't know how it was done at yours.
yeah.
Like
They
everything's by
want us.
hand.
Yeah,
Like all
and I'm
the
getting a lot.
the swedging, the duct. We do duct board. I saw that you were doing like
Exactly.
sheet metal and stuff. We didn't do that, but the duct board, the swedging, the brazing, like everything had to be done the hard way first.
And I'm getting so many comments. People are telling me, "Oh, use this electric, this, that," but they don't understand. When you're in trade school, they want you to learn the hard way first.
Exactly, and that's a good thing, right? Like I actually knew how to make all these different kinds of duct using a duct board and cutting it myself and putting
Yep,
it together myself, making the 90s, the offsets. Even
yep,
though I don't do that kind of work, I learned all that stuff. And
yeah,
he's like, "Yeah, you can go get this, you know, done at the shop. They'll do it for you sometimes, and you can just order what you need." But he's like, "I want you guys to do it, to know how to do it, and be out there and know this stuff."
exactly.
So your Instagram handle, I love it. It trades over college, right? So
Mm,
is there a
plain and
reason
simple.
that you were yeah, is there a reason you were looking into the trades versus going to college? Like what how did you because like a lot of kids don't know about the trades. So like how did you start looking for a trade school instead of a college? Or what made you not
Yes.
want to go to college?
So basically, let me start off with my background. I've always been an entrepreneur, hustler since a young kid. I'm already selling on different e-commerce platforms
Let
for the
me
past
let
4.
me just I'm sorry. Let me just say that I have the same kind of background because my mom would always be like, What are you doing now? You're over here wheeling and dealing and this and that." Like I
Yeah.
always loved doing my own thing.
So for the past 4 years, ever since COVID started, I got into selling sneakers and clothing, and it took off from there, really. Now I sell on Amazon, eBay, Walmart, you name it. So I'm really trying to get into that with HVAC too, not just like the hands-on part, the tools, parts, all of that. And also when I was 10, 11, I would go out with my brother. We would go raking leaves for people, shoveling snow. We would go sell Valentine's Day cards, Father's Day cards, go to Dollar Tree, buy 50-cent cards, go sell it in front of ShopRite, $3, because ShopRite would have them at $6. You can't beat $3. So I would in school I would sell candy for $2 a piece. I would buy in bulk in Costco. My mind's always racing for more and more and more.
Man, that's crazy because I grew up like that too, and it's funny that you bring that up. I never really talk about that kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
I like after, or I guess like towards the end of high school, after high school, I got into like bartering, where it's like, you buy something like you said on the cheap,
Yeah.
trade it up for something that's worth more, and then like you get your money that way, or
Yeah.
resell things. I've done all that. I used to use Craigslist. I have no idea if that's still a thing, but
Yeah. Not as big, but yeah.
yeah, now it's like, like you said, Amazon and whatever
Yeah.
else. But I used to do all that stuff in person, like selling things. Like I would, get a
Yeah.
deal on them, resell them, trade up to get things that I wanted. I was always like hustling for that kind of stuff. And then like when I was younger, if anybody asked me to do anything, like I don't like doing things like for free. And I still have that mindset. It's like, oh, can you do this for me? Can you make me
Yeah.
this? Can you do that? And I was pretty good at doing little things here and there. And I was very good with computers, and like people would be like, oh, burn me a CD, or make me this, or design this, or whatever it is. I'm like, all right, you know, how much money we're talking here, So I've always been in that
And
mindset too. And I guess it transitions over to, when you're older, the whole entrepreneurship. I run a business now with my dad. I'm always thinking about that kind of stuff. And then when I started my channel, Instagram, and all that, I was like, let me treat this like a business too, right? Because like,
mhm.
what it leads up to, right? You got all these companies out there that you talk to, and you share their stuff, they share your stuff, there's a
Yeah.
whole domino effect there. So that's kind of cool to hear that you've always been into that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, and I see with the younger generation now, like everyone's on their phone, but really your phone can be making you money. Why are you just on your phone aimlessly scrolling through TikTok? Pick up the
Yeah.
phone and make money with it. Stop just staring at it. Like we have all this internet now, like it's so easy to start something up. People don't realize that.
So are you still doing all that stuff? You're the
Yeah,
e-commerce, all that kind of
right,
stuff?
right in front of me, I got 100 pair of shoes ready to
Oh,
go.
no way. Damn.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's awesome. And that's the kind of stuff, like you said, like that like kids need to see that like you can make money
yeah,
doing a lot of different things. Like anything you're into, a hobby, an
yep.
interest, there's a business side of it, right? Learn it, So since you've been into the entrepreneurship and doing things on your own, you were not interested in a college degree or anything like that?
Nope.
You didn't see a point?
No. I mean, in high school for my 4 years, I was in like a corporate program, so we would do a lot of mock-up businesses. We would have
Mm,
a CEO, all of that. We would go pitch like mock-up businesses. We would go to trade show once a year. And also in my middle school, I was in a business program, so I kind of
okay.
grasped more insight from all those years of experience as well.
And then and you got into the trade school. Was there a reason you landed on HVAC?
There's so much opportunity in this field. Like really, we have a little bit of each trade that we do. We do some electrician stuff, some plumbing. We do a little bit of everything. So like the sky's the limit when it comes to this field. We have refrigeration, the list goes on and on. There's so much you can do.
Yeah, and I went through some of your comments when we had talked or messaged the other day, and I think you were doing one on a disconnect, or like how to
Yeah.
do something, and then I scrolled and someone was like, HVAC people are not supposed to do that. I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't understand. Like we don't, like for little things like that, like a disconnect box, wiring up a condensing unit. We got to know all that stuff.
Yeah.
Drain lines, plumbing. We gotta do a little bit of everything, like you said. And king of the trades is what people say.
We're not gonna call an electrician out for $300 just to wire up a disconnect switch. Kidding me?
Nah, Nah, like we have an electrician on speed dial because we have commercial accounts, right? So like if they need like something in the
Yeah,
parking lot, like a light for the parking lot, a
yeah,
light for their sign or something like that,
yeah,
that's when I call them. But I'm doing the
yeah.
disconnect.
That's
I'm wiring
different.
my unit. Yeah, I'm wiring my unit. Running my system and all that. Like we do all of that. Yeah, that's why I
Yeah,
said earlier when I went to school, I had an electrician or an electrical class, and they had to teach us how to trace wires, how to wire up a system, how to handle single phase, three phase.
mhm.
Like we got to do all that stuff.
We started off on those small electrical boards with a few light bulbs on it. We would wire in series, parallel. That's how we started.
Yeah, man, and like they would have us wiring up these boards and stuff, right? You got to make it work. You got to follow a diagram and wire it up
Yeah,
yourself. And there was this one kid, and I actually went to high school with him too. I'll never forget because they gave us a handful of like these little wires that you can kind of like plug and play on the board,
yeah,
and they give you red and black, right?
yep,
And they kind of tell you like line and load or line and neutral, whatever it is. And this one kid just wired everything in black, and he didn't even use the red. And then all of us were like kind of looking at him like, well, he didn't do it the way like they showed us, right? And teacher was like, no, that's great. He's like, perfect example. It doesn't matter what color, what the wire looks like. If you can follow a schematic, that's the most important part. And that kind of
yep.
stuck with me.
That's the number one thing. If you can read that schematic, you'll go far in life.
All right, man. So then you decided on HVAC. You got into or you found a school that you liked.
Yep.
So did you grow up around the trades? Like, is this new to you, or have you been around it?
So actually, I'm technically first generation in the trades. Besides my grandfather, he had a mechanic shop, but that's about it.
Oh, really? Yeah, my grandpa was a mechanic too. My dad does, uh, or he was an electrician. And he does cooking equipment. So I always have to remind people because like when they hear like, oh, you work with your dad, you're just the boss's son and you don't do anything. I'm like, no, I'm a first generation HVAC tech, right? I learned all this stuff. I'm out there on my own. So
Yep.
kind of cool that you started that on your side. You're the first one to do that. That's really cool. So
Yeah.
your parents don't do anything in the trades, like they're I don't know, business related.
Nope. And of course, you know how moms are. She was against it as first. Oh,
That was gonna be my next question.
you gotta go to college, this and that. You don't like to work with your hands. What are you doing? This is not gonna be for you. This and that. But you know how dads are. They're always
Yeah.
supportive. Yeah, try it. We're just gonna pay month to month. If he doesn't like it, he can always drop it. And that's how it started. And
Okay, cool.
I'm
Because I
here
was
now.
like I was saying, that was gonna be my next question. Like, what did your parents think if you didn't have your dad in the trades? Like, usually, like that's how people fall into it. Is there one of their parents did it or anything like that, and then they get into it. But I was wondering how your parents felt about that. So there was a little bit of them worrying, but like they supported you, ultimately.
Yeah. My dad's actually an accountant, and my mom's a
Okay.
PA in the hospital, so nothing close to the trades.
Hey man, I had Lance from Solder World on here, and his parents were they were like dentists or something. Like it's crazy how
Yeah.
you get into different things.
Yeah.
You were doing your own thing, your own like little business online and stuff. Like that's something that you kind of set into. But like I asked you, why did you pick HVAC? But like, how did you find out about the trades? Like, is that something you just like kind of notice around you? Like, because like a lot of kids
So
don't know about the trades. Because even myself, my dad was an electrician. It took me a while to think like, oh, maybe I should get into the trades. Like what was it that you noticed, or when was it that you noticed like the trades?
so first, how it all started, I opened college applications. I looked at it. I couldn't even go any further. That's where it started. Next, I picked up my computer. I started researching for days and days. I found out a huge need and how we're gonna have over 350,000 people retiring within the next 5 years. So I was like, wow, this can really be an opportunity. Also, I knew a few kids in my school they were going down that route. So yeah, I kept researching YouTube videos, watching it. I was like, wow, this can be really big opportunity.
So you were you didn't like the whole college thing, and you kind of just researched until you found the trades, right?
Yeah, once I saw that you need to write like 10 different essays, this and that, I was like, yep, not for me.
Okay, and you mentioned that your mom had said like, or she didn't think you could, or you wanted to work with your hands or anything like that. Like
Yeah.
in that aspect, I'm assuming you never had too much experience with like tools and like work or taking apart equipment or anything like that, right?
Not at all. I just started 2 months ago.
So how's that been? Because like when I started, like I always tell people that I like to take apart things, mess around with things when I was little, like electronics and stuff like that. But I wasn't using like power tools or anything, right?
Yeah.
So when I started, because I work with my dad, and then he had hired his brothers, right? So like I used to ride along with one of my uncles, and then they would report to my dad, right? And one of the things when I started was like, well, he's not very mechanically inclined and stuff with tools and whatnot. And then I heard that, and I was like, what? I was like, okay, like I'm gonna try a little bit harder and get the hang of the tools. So for you, like, has that been an easy pickup, or did you, I don't know, take a while to get the hang of like actually working with your hands and using these tools?
I mean, for me, I would say I'm a quick learner. So if you show me something once or twice, I should be able to get my hands on it and ready to go.
Yeah, me and my dad are the same way. Like, and we're kind of like that where we go to a job, or they'll call us for something, and they're like, it's this or that. Can you fix it or anything? I'm like, well, let me get in front of it and I'll figure it out, right? Like, I'm a quick learner as far as like somebody showing me something, but also like now I can go into, or I've always been like this when we opened up our business. I was like, I went to school for it, right? I have a basic understanding. I have this and that. I was like, I can deal with anything. So I'll get in front of a unit. That's why it's important to read schematics, know your basics, and like start with all the little things, right? You start looking around the unit, seeing what you find with it, and like don't jump to conclusions. A lot of stuff like that. Like keep it simple, and you'll figure out anything. I don't think I've ever had a unit that has beat me, and that's what my dad always told me. He's like, if he ever sees me having a hard time, he's like, don't let this unit beat you, right? Figure it out, take it step by step, and it's usually you have to just don't get ahead of yourself. You have to keep it simple, and you'll figure it out.
Most definitely.
Since you're in school, you're doing the whole side job thing. Are they you're not really sticking to one side or the other. I saw you working in a walk-in. It looked like a walk-in cooler or something.
Yeah,
You've had a little experience on AC and refrigeration.
that's correct. My teacher does mostly refrigeration. That walk-in cooler, that was actually a brand new replacement that we put up,
Oh, cool.
so which was pretty cool.
And I know you're not too far into it yet, but is there like a side that you're liking, like the refrigeration side or the air conditioning?
The goal is to do a commercial industrial refrigeration. As you know, that's where the most money is at because every
Yeah.
store you walk, every store you walk into, grocery, whatever, they all need refrigeration, right? So
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I get a lot of different people on here, and it's like some of them love residential, some of them love refrigeration, some of them love industrial. Like everybody's different, which is really cool because in this trade, what I'm trying to push on people is you don't have to pick just residential or commercial. Like there's like a vast variety of different things, right? Even if you're good at selling stuff, you're like go be a salesperson, go work at the parts house. A lot of people sometimes like to, after they've done it a couple years, they'll go and just be at the parts house, right? They're good at helping contractors get what they need and selling stuff. You can do that, and you can be out in the field doing residential. Some people like that interaction with those homeowners. They love talking to them. If you're a talkative person, go do that. If you're like me and you like being on the roof alone, go do some commercial work, right? Being in a walk-in alone or whatever. And then if you want to work on something as like chillers and stuff. Like there's a whole bunch of different things that you can do if you just get into the trade, right? You're gonna find something you like. There's something for every different type of a person, basically.
I wanted to ask you, so is that the main reason why you chose to go the commercial refrigeration route instead of the residential route?
I guess let me explain a little bit of my background, right? I don't get to talk about myself too much, right, on this show. Okay, so when I went to school, my dad already had his company. He started a business. We're Reliable Kitchen Services. So my dad does cooking equipment for restaurants and hospitals and schools, right? So he was always working on the hot side, steamers, fryers, grills, ovens, whatever, whatever they cook with. He doesn't do HVAC. And the way he saw it was there's refrigeration equipment in here, there's AC equipment in here. I need an HVAC guy so that the customers are not calling a competitor, because the competitor around here, a lot of them do both AC, refrigeration, and the cooking equipment. So that was his mindset. And I was like, you know what? I'm game, right? I'll go learn this. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. And I went to school. I got my license, all that jazz. So the thing with me is when I was in school, I did like the commercial side better, the refrigeration, like that I felt like was more challenging to me. But I kind of had that mindset, like, because I was already going to work with my dad and stuff. I liked that environment. I like that you get to talk to people, but then you also get to be alone. I'll be in the kitchen talking to cooks, managers, whatever it is that's there. And then I got to run up to the roof and I get to be alone. So I get a little mix of both and I like that. And in my mind at school, I was like, I really like commercial and that's the stuff that I like better. And I don't know if I could deal with residential. I'm not that talkative, to be honest. And some of the customers there, they'll be over your shoulder on residential calls. So that's just my opinion on that. And commercial refrigeration allows me to see a lot of equipment. So ice machines, ice cream machines, walk-ins of all different sizes. I've seen some really huge ones where you got like three evaporators, like 5 or 6 fans each, like a lot of crazy stuff. To little bar coolers, beer coolers. Like I feel like there's a more variety in commercial refrigeration, and that's what excited me basically.
I totally agree with you on that, man.
Like residential, you can make a lot of money. I mean, everybody's different. I always tell people, like, your success is different from someone else's success, right? Like you might like where you're at. Some people want to make more money. Like there's everybody's different. I don't like saying that somebody's not making enough or somebody is not successful because they're not making millions, right? I mean, there's people that make millions, there's people that make 100,000, there's people that make 50,000. Depends on where you're at. As far as like commercial, residential, if you're making a lot of money in residential, more than likely you're selling, you're trying to get that change out, you're trying to get all these customers to buy accessories. Like you need to make sales basically, because you can't, if you just go in there and repair something in and out, like you're not going to make like what they want you to make. If you go to commercial, you're not really selling anything. You don't have to do any of that. Like they want it fixed now and they don't care what they pay. So if you go to these restaurants, if their freezer's down, that's a lot of money in that freezer, right? So they're going to be okay paying you $500, $700, $1,000, whatever the repair cost to get that done, right? Whatever you want to set your price to is good with them most of the time. Supermarkets, big deal. Like that's a lot of money in these supermarkets, at grocery stores, stuff like that. Like a lot of this is emergency and a lot of money to them. So like you're going to get paid well off on commercial, industrial, where you don't have to be worried about selling or anything like that. You just go to work, do your job, really well. Residential, I feel like you have to worry more about selling. That's just my 2 cents on that.
So in reality, we're really like frontline workers. A lot of people view doctors, lawyers, frontline workers, but in reality, we come and save the day. Without us, there's going to be no refrigeration, no groceries, nothing. And
No, man.
like you were
Oh,
and
go
like
ahead.
with commercials, you can do lots of contracts with these businesses where they'll sign you up for a year and you'll be the one coming back month after month maintaining those systems.
I think it's a lot easier to do maintenance too. Like, I know not a lot of people like maintenance, but that's what keeps money coming in like regularly. So a homeowner might not want to do that too often, right? They're and I hear stories about like the richer the homeowner is, the more or the less they want to spend, and the people that have mansions don't get maintenance, don't want to, or they have like a really old system that they don't want to do, but like they want to show off like all the money they have. But like for us, we have hospitals, we have fast food chains and stuff like that. They want maintenance, right? The hospital at one point was having us there every 2 weeks. Like they were like real paranoid about this stuff getting dirty or going down. Because I mean, a hospital they need all that working. They got a lot of patients to feed. They have a kitchen that all the doctors and nurses eat at, right? Like this stuff can't be down. So they pay a lot. And we're there every month. I'm there almost every other week, honestly. Like, and I'll look around and I'll be like, what else do you need? Guys, like, is there anything that's been giving you issues? And then they'll point me to something and I got more work there. You don't do that in residential, right? You don't like you try to sell stuff, but they might be like, no, I just want it fixed. Get out of here, you know?
So yeah, like us as tradesmen, people don't realize we're actually the roots of everything. People don't realize that. So there's like lots of opportunity.
And you brought up the whole thing with the doctors and lawyers or whatever it is. Like, that's what I want to change is like when I went or when I was growing up, it's like, especially like with career days and stuff, like, oh, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a policeman, a firefighter, a nurse, nothing against any of those trades, but like I knew and my parents knew, like I like to be outside. I like to do things with my hands. Like I was, like I said, taking apart things. I loved electronic everything and I was good with computers. Like I had a whole bunch of other hobbies that I cannot sit down in one location for too long. And I was like, I'm not gonna go to school. I'm never gonna be a doctor. I know that. Like I was like, I need something for me. And this has been perfect for me, right? I get to, and that's another thing with commercial, because like residential, you kind of want to stay in the same location. Like you're gonna be, and that's a good thing for some people, right? They want to be close to home. You can just have a radius of some neighborhoods that that you go to and kind of get work and stuff like that. Commercial, I like to travel. I'm going 2 hours one way to do a call, going an hour another way to do a call. Sometimes it's like within 30 minutes and I have an easy day, but I like that stuff. I like traveling, being in different spots, seeing something different all the time. Like that's just what I like to do. And that's why I would probably never do like installs and stuff like that, because those guys are at a job site the whole day to knock out an install, right? It looks fun. I like seeing it. It's just not for me.
Yeah, so like you were saying that you can't really sit still. It's like with me, I have like a propeller in my behind. I always need to be on the go. I always need to be doing something. Like I always need to be constantly kept busy doing something, working on something. Like it doesn't stop.
Yeah, it's funny because like you said, your mind, you said earlier, was like always racing and stuff. That's how I am, and I just constantly have things I'm thinking about. A lot of times I'm thinking about work, getting better after work, the calls that I had or the calls that I have coming up. I'm just always thinking about it, and I just want to get there, fix it, and get on to the next one.
I also wanted to mention how your health is wealth. If you're not healthy, you're not going to be able to go far in this field. Make sure if you can try to hit the gym daily, try to read some books, go outside, go on walks, meet up with your family. You guys got to make sure you're healthy.
Are you like a gym person?
Yeah, so I try to go to the gym 5 days a week, every day
Awesome.
after school. at least an hour and a half. I need to be there. If I'm not at the gym, my day's not complete. Even if it's 10 o'clock, I'll be there. 5 a.m., I'll be there, no matter what time it is.
Let me just say, I already know people in the chat are gonna be like, "Oh, wait till he's older. Wait till he gets into the trade a few years, right?" Because like, I mean, depending on where you work, they might try to get a lot out of you, right? Long hours and stuff like that. So it is more difficult when you get older to do those things. But it is very important to try to be in some sort of or be active in some way outside of work. Um, and it's very hard. And like I said, you're not doing it full time yet, but I thought I had it under control when I started. And then like, they start offering, because I work in restaurants, they start offering you free food and like, "Yay, come here, try this or try that." And man, after a while it adds up. And then like I said, we're on the road a lot. It's very tempting to get fast food every day and indulge in that kind of stuff. So that is a concerning thing that some HVAC techs need to realize, is like, take care of yourself, because it's very easy to lose yourself in all this either free food or fast food or whatever it is, not being active. And then like health, like you said, health is wealth. It's going to help you at work, getting up that ladder, getting on the roof, being on the floor under a unit. Like, man, if you're out of shape, it's going to be just tough, that much tougher to do those things. And then, as you get older, stuff starts to hurt, right? Take care of your knees, take care of your skin. We're in the sun a lot too. There's a lot of things you got to be just be conscious of with your body. You only got one.
And I did some research, man. Statistics show 83% of tradesmen are overweight. Isn't that a
Oh
problem?
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm probably obese by that standard. I look at that scale and I'm like, "Oh, I got to get back to it, And you fall off here and there sometimes, but like I said, just be conscious about it, because like once you don't think about it or you don't realize it, the next day you put on 50, 100 pounds or whatever it is. So you don't have to be like super in shape. You don't have to be at the gym all the time. Just be conscious about it and try to be a little active and control it, control those urges.
The key is to just stay disciplined. Try to meal prep, bring those meals to work, a lunch box. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't take much, but little things like that go a long way. If you're going McDonald's every day, Wendy's every day, that's no good.
No, and I got conscious and I lost like 50 pounds a couple years ago. And I wasn't doing anything too crazy. I mean, I was working out daily and all that, but and I don't even work out that hard, to be honest, but I started being conscious about the groceries I got, the food that I was buying, right? Like, oh, let me look at the label. What's in this, Little things like that can add up to where you're not going to be like 2 hours in the gym every day. Like, oh, you can get away with like 30, 45 minutes, something like that, and then just make sure you look at what you're eating. Big difference right there.
It's like every time I'm at a gas station, man, I see these construction workers and stuff getting
Yeah.
all these snacks and drinks. I'm like thinking, man,
I'm a bad person about like snacking. So like I gotta have my chips. I try to buy, which I'm getting back into, is like baked chips or stuff that's a little bit better on the label than buying just straight up like hot Cheetos or whatever fatty chips there are. Like, that's my kryptonite. That's my weakness right there. But like I'm trying, like I said, if you can just look at stuff and then get a healthier substitution for that. If you do that for everything that you buy, like, it adds up, because like we put so much crap in our bodies sometimes, and like it just, that weight comes on, you start feeling real sluggish, all that. If you just like make little changes, and it's cool that you brought that up, because I never got to talk about that either. And I'm like, you only have one body. I mean, if you're just hurting yourself by doing some of these things. But like I said, little changes here and there, you'll be good. It helps you in the long run.
exactly. All it takes is take one trip to Costco once a month, Get
Yeah.
some nice healthy snacks. Like me, I don't drink any sodas. I don't eat any junk food, no chips. I whip out a granola bar, snack on that. I get some nuts, raisins, healthy snacks.
Well, you're on a good start right there because like I grew up with soda and that was one of my biggest things, but I switched to the Coke Zero and all that kind of stuff, right? And I had it under control at one point. It comes and goes, but like just get I used to hate diet stuff. Now I'm like if it's not diet or the zero stuff, like I don't touch it because each one of those cans is like a ridiculous amount of calories and sugar. So like I don't know. I just like I said, little changes like that. Coke Zero. I buy a lot of like sugar free, low calorie condiments and foods and trying to get into that turkey, stuff to substitute like some meals and all that. Little things, man. Little things.
Actually, research shows that diet and Coke Zero is worse than the actual soda.
Hey man, I don't care what research says. I need my soda, but like um I don't know. It's just a substitute, right? Because I'm like, I don't know if it's that much worse. Like soda is in itself just really bad for you, right? Like pick your poison right there. I choose the one that gives me the less calories and less weight gain. All right, man. Let me move on to the social media stuff. So you're on Instagram now, and I saw that you're doing the TikTok, and you're trying to. We talked before the show. You're trying to do a lot of things at once, right? Um, you're trying to, I guess, establish that brand, what I would consider a brand, right? Trades over college. That's going to be your brand. How did you find this online community? Because you came in, I saw you pop up. I've seen you interact with some other guys. Like, how did you find that Instagram community for when you first got in there?
So yeah, basically, I think you were one of the first few guys that I followed, and I went from there.
Mm.
I started looking through who you follow, following other guys, engaging with other guys, commenting, liking. It all started from there, man. I'm trying to build a personal brand.
But did you know that there was people on Instagram doing this, or like, what made you like? How did you find us?
So basically, I just went to the search bar, searched up HVAC, and went from there. I didn't realize there was that many people actually like posting stuff, and then I was like, wow, there's actually a lot of people doing this. And then
Okay,
I found
so it's just a quick Google search and you found us.
yep. I went on the Instagram search bar, searched up HVAC, started from there. Oh, and another thing is when my teacher brought up AHR, I searched them up on Instagram first, and then that's when the ball started rolling.
So they told you like your class about the whole expo and everything like that, and kind of introduced you to
Nope, just me. I'm the only one that knows. Me and my teacher actually go to Me and my teacher actually goes to the Starbucks like once a week. We write down a game plan, what's going on, what we want to
Do
do.
you pick
That's what
his
we do.
brain? Do you pick his brain as far as like work stuff?
Definitely. I mean, he has a website and stuff. He shows me how he runs some Facebook ads, Google ads. He shows me the breakdown of everything, how he has keywords in his website, what brings people into his website just by those keywords like walk-in icebox, refrigeration. I mean, just those little keywords like that, that brings in like 100,000 people a month just to his website.
Damn, that's crazy. So, and that's kind of hard to get because I've talked to other, I guess, like creators right online, and they want to share more about the business side or like how to start or what they do to be successful. And I might do a little bit of that too. And sometimes it's hard to find like people that want to share that kind of stuff with you, right? Like, oh, this is how I did it. This is how I became successful at it, or I get by or whatever it is. So that's kind of cool that you get to talk to him about that stuff, pick his brain. Like honestly, like if you just go out there and ask everybody, and I tell people that too online, like as far as like, because I get questions about how to do content, I get questions about the companies that I work with. I get questions about work related stuff. I get questions about business related stuff. So to me, it's like, why don't you just go ask everybody, right? Like, what's the worst they can do? Just not answer you, right? So don't be afraid to ask about anything. Like if you're on social media and you want to do content, go ask content creators how they do stuff. I get asked all the time, and I'm an open book. I tell people like how I run this stuff. And it's not rocket science to be honest. I'm just kind of winging it over here, but um, it's the same with everything. If you want to learn about business, go. Obviously, you can go do your own research, but go ask people that actually do it. And some of them might give you like a wealth of knowledge right there. So, like I said, that's kind of cool that you all do that. And so he runs his own business and teaches then, right?
Yeah, my teacher actually really supports me. He's like really motivated to see what potential I have in the future. He's like, "Yeah, I'm ready to give in my resignation and work for you once you start your business." I'm like, "Wow, man, that really means a lot."
And is he the one that you said is going to AHR?
Yeah,
Oh, cool. So I get to see you and your teacher there.
yeah. He actually used to work at ASHRAE previously,
Mm,
few years ago, but something didn't work out there, so that's how he ended up teaching now.
but he runs a business, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not like a full-blown
Um,
business, but it's like a little side gig.
yeah, just enough to get some money in or get some work in. So what did he tell you about the AHR Expo, and like what are you excited to see there?
Yeah, so basically he told me there's gonna be hundreds and hundreds of different booths set up, different companies, bunch of new brands looking to take on people, lots of people to network with, few after parties where you can network with people. So there's really a lot to do there. And actually we're going to see if we can try to take on, maybe find some suppliers to get into the parts game and all that stuff, but uh, we're just gonna go and have some fun.
That's a important thing that I'm trying to take advantage of too, because the networking thing is maybe what people don't understand. Like the companies are there, talk to them, get to know them. They'll scan your badge and different things, and you can keep in touch with them. And then so he knows about all the after parties and all that kind of stuff too, because uh y'all are not going to the award show, are you?
I was trying to get in, but we only decided we're gonna actually come a few weeks ago. So when I reached out to, what's his
Oh,
name,
okay.
Ben,
Yeah.
he said unfortunately there's no more tickets.
Yeah, I think there's like a wait list and stuff.
Yeah. So
Um,
hopefully next year I can get rookie of the year award.
yeah, man, they have a lot of categories, man. The hidden gem, but I don't know. Like I said earlier, you'll probably be bigger than me by the time this airs. So I don't know if you're a hidden gem anymore. But that's really cool that he knows about that stuff anyway, because like there's the award show. That's a cool little, just more intimate thing, right? It's a smaller venue. You're gonna be in the same room with people. Like that's where you can network with fellow techs, content creators, stuff like that. The AHR is just, it's really fun to me. I took my brother a couple years ago, and or for a couple years, the Vegas and the Atlanta one, and he doesn't know this whole social media stuff, or he didn't know at the time. And like when I took him, his mind was like blown just at the demos, the different equipment. Like they show a lot of things, and a lot of them even unveil a lot of new equipment or products coming out. Like the Milwaukee vacuum pump was there before it came out. VETO likes to have the tool bags that they have coming out before they're out at the expo. So you see a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, man, there's after parties, like dinner parties, like nothing crazy. Like it's a dinner party, guys. There's no crazy partying or excessive partying going on. Like RLS has one. I think Rigid has one. Parker Sportland, a lot of big name brands that they're going to be hosting these little dinner events where you can go and get more of that intimate networking. So I'm trying to take advantage of that too, right? You get to know everybody, you get to meet everybody, and it's a cool time. So just wanted to go over the AHR Expo and kind of like your thoughts on it.
So my flight is actually Sunday morning at like 5 a.m. And the day before on Saturday, I actually have a sneaker convention to go to. So it's gonna be really tough, man. I'm back to back. I have to go there with a van with 300 pair of shoes, sit there for like 10 hours, then bring back. It's gonna be a no
So what
sleep kind of night.
what what's a sneaker convention? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so basically it's similar to like an AHR, I guess. There's gonna be like vendors like me, like 500 different vendors. Then they sell like general admission tickets for like sneakerheads and people to come in, purchase shoes. So yeah, I'm one of those vendors.
Damn, that's awesome. You're in the a few of these different little groups now, right? You're in the HVAC group. You've been in the sneaker group. Do you? So then, what kind of sneakers do you sell? Is this stuff that's out, or are you selling like retro stuff? Like what's your what are you selling?
So basically, I sell a variety of different things. I have some connections at few stores for new releases, new Jordans, hype stuff that come out. I usually get my hands on. Like recently, I don't know if you know, the Kobe's came out. They retail for like $170. I was selling them at $600 a pop all day for Christmas. So like the margins are huge on stuff like that, you know? And I don't just sell hype stuff. I sell your regular Nike slides, regular Adidas Sambas, running shoes, you know? I sell clothing, gym clothing, anything, man. Anything I could get my hands on. And I'm looking to eventually get into the wholesale game, selling groceries and stuff. So
That's awesome, man. And now I know I have a connection now because I'm a big basketball person. I'm not a sneakerhead at all. Like I admire that stuff. I think a lot of it's cool, but I don't know. I'm not out there like spending a whole bunch of money on sneakers. So I'm not a sneakerhead per se, but I'm a big Kobe fan. I'm a big Laker fan, all that kind of stuff. Like I'd seen uh that whole situation with the shoes and stuff. And like you said, like those people will pay a pretty price to get that kind of stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna attempt that. But that's cool, man. Um like I said, you're doing a little bit of different things there.
and speaking about the social media game, I also had my foot in the door with social media a few years back when COVID started. I made a sneaker page called NYC Legit Kicks, and that kind of took off. That's where I first started getting my few sales locally. Then a few years later, I saw the potential with e-commerce. So I opened up an LLC and I dug deeper, and that's how I started.
Man, that's a cool story, especially being as young as you are. You're kind of dipping your toes and really going at these different avenues, like the sneaker clothing world. You already established yourself there, and now you're trying to do that for HVAC. When you found all these HVAC content creators, um, did that kind of stuff help you with anything? Like, are you looking to certain people to learn anything from?
Honestly, yeah, there's lots of cool guys out there. You being one of them. I really like the videos you put out. Very informative. Motivates me to keep going harder. To be honest, there's so much to watch. I haven't had that time to really dig there deep down and do some more research. My mind just been everywhere right now with AHR coming up. I have some stuff with sneakers coming up, so I just been all over the place right now. Then I have taxes coming up, so gotta fix
Yeah,
all the books up.
yeah, man, yeah. You're doing a lot at 18, but I mean that's cool. And I'm more of a YouTube person. I like to go and watch or binge watch over there, but like this is a good problem to have. Like there's a lot of content now. It's hard for me to keep up with everybody. It's just a lot of stuff to watch because like when I started watching, there was only like a few guys that I would watch, and now it's like a lot. And I like having options. I like watching guys that do stuff that I don't get to do. Right? It's interesting to me, and I'll learn new things here and there. But on that note, want to start posting? Because you kind of came out of the gate just pumping out content. So what made you want to start posting, and what kind of content are you looking to do, or what are you trying to help with other guys?
So, like I said, I had my foot in the game with social media a few years back. So, I wanted to kind of take my knowledge and put it further into use. Really, my goal is to empower the younger generation to do better. So, I'm not just trying to do like one content. I'm trying to mix up my content, have a little bit of funny stuff, a little bit of serious stuff, like how you can see I do interviews, so things like that. I like to show like my day to day. I want to start doing some YouTube vlogs. I ordered a GoPro. I want to upload a vlog on AHR. So I got some stuff planned. Just need to start executing it, doing baby steps, step by step. We'll get there one day.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and do something at AHR too. So it'd be cool to see you. I know we talked about linking up and doing some stuff there. So I'm excited to see the stuff that you got going on over there. And I see that you bought a mic and you mentioned buying headphones. Like, are you planning to do other things too, other than like vlogging and Instagram content?
Yeah, for sure, man. So I actually have a couple other podcasts lined up within the next few weeks. And I also want to just make some videos sitting down talking. I see some guys making videos like that. Just putting out some information, some key tips here and there.
That's cool, man. It looks like you're trying to attack this thing from all different um, sides of it. So like I said, you're doing really well on Instagram. Like I every time I check, I feel like I have another few hundred. The support's been great. I love the community now because like I tell people, and like I only started, I don't know what, 3 years ago, or not even, something like that. It's a different space now because like when I started, I got a lot of crap sometimes, and I know you said you got some on Instagram and stuff, but like man, some of the comments I got were horrible. But I noticed that it slowly got better, and like right now, it's great. Right, most of it is going to be positive, like support or good criticism, where it's like, "Yo, you can do this or do that. Maybe this helps you out here, or you can do it quicker this way." So I love where it's going. It's cool that you're getting into it, and I and it, like I said, if you just reach out to these guys that you watch, they're gonna message you back. They're gonna talk to you. They're gonna be most of the time super cool with that. So just make sure you or anybody listening, like if you're on these platforms, reach out to these guys, interact with these guys. That's what we love. Like I love going through my comments, talking to people. I love when I get messages, getting to talk to other techs, right? Other techs that want to do better, whether they're new to the trade or a little older. Like I love engaging and talking to guys, and I mean, it's a great community.
I've been trying to respond to as many comments as I can, but Instagram has limited me to commenting. So it sucks, man. They keep telling me, no, try again later. You can't comment this and that. And I'm like, man,
Oh man, you're getting way more comments than I am. Then I was like, I've never had that
yeah,
happen. That's cool, man. Um, we're a little over an hour. I don't want to keep you too long. I kind of went through the questions that I had for you. I don't know if you have anything else you want to kind of touch on or end with before we get off.
that's about it, man. I'm sure we can do another podcast one day. I have a lot more to talk about, but let's not
Yeah.
keep this too long. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for the time.
That's cool, man. So you have an Instagram. You said you have a TikTok. Is there anything else that you have right now?
I have Facebook, X, Snapchat,
Oh yeah.
YouTube, everything there is.
Yeah, you're really trying to build everything. So I'll try and leave as many as I can in the description so people can go check you out. If they're on Instagram, they've probably already seen you, but it's really cool to see because I like having people on here for different opinions and views because I want like a little bit of everything, right? So it's really cool to see an 18-year-old starting trade school, kind of did his own thing, researched the hell out of it, and you're doing great. So it's cool to see. Um, just keep doing you, keep doing what you're doing, and I mean, you've seen the support, where it's going. Like it's cool to see.
I appreciate you, man. One more thing I wanted to ask you is What's the
Yeah.
deal with all these tool racists out there? I posted one video in Home Depot, and I seen some of those comments. What's the deal with those tools?
I saw that you did one with Home Depot and then one with Lowe's. So like, did they like? Well, was there like Home Depot fanboys in your Lowe's comments or anything like that?
No, no one said anything
No,
about Lowe's. I just
because
decided to go there.
Kraus, I don't know if you know Kraus, Cooling with Kraus. I think he did a video in Lowe's too, and everybody is like, "Oh, that's not where the contractors go, and that's like the high end. Like you're not gonna find anything there, and this and that." So I'm like, I've seen that there's like certain fanboys for different things, but uh, no, I've gotten that too because, and I had to explain that when like I've had my tool stolen a couple times, and it's funny because you did that video recently about using an air tag so you don't get your tool stolen. We didn't have air tags back then, but um, I had to go out and get tools that same day to finish my job, my day. So I needed tools, right? I was like, you know what? I went to Harbor Freight, got a bunch of like cheap tools just to get me by. Now, I hate calling them cheap tools. They're just not as good as, Klein or whatever it is, but they work. They do the job. I have yet to even break any of them, honestly. I think I only broke a ratcheting wrench, but I still have them. I finally went back and bought Klein because I was waiting for them to break and they never broke. So I was like, all right, they're still there. But whenever I would post, I got the same thing. I was like, why are you using those cheap ass tools? And you're not a real tech or anything like that. So it's whatever, man. You just got to roll with the punches and stand your ground, basically. Like I said, keep doing you, and network the hell out of it. Make sure you talk to all these companies, and I hope you make like 100,000, 1 million followers, and all that good stuff, man.
Thank you, man, for having me on here again. It was a pleasure.
I appreciate you for coming on the show and taking the time, man. So
No problem.
anybody watching and listening, I will see you guys next time.
Later.